Well, and hello again to another episode of the Crotchety Old Men Podcast. As you already by now ought to know, I'm one of the co-hosts, Gary Smith, and we have a bunch of folk here in the studio today with us. Of course, my main man, Paul P.C. Clemens. What's going on, Doc? And
How
then
you
we got
doing? How you
George
doing?
Crumley. That's our leader there. All right, now talk to me while I'm still listening. Okay. And
Oh
then,
yeah,
of
man.
course,
We
I'm going to
No,
know
turn the
you.
here
mic
we're
on over
all
to.
good.
There you There we go. So this person that we have, our guest speaking, I'm going to let George go ahead and do the intro like he always does. And another phenomenal episode. So without any further ado, take it away, George.
All right, Smitty. I see everybody's doing good today. We've got a returning guest. In fact, Oscar's been on twice before. Oscar's a professor over at Morehouse. He's also been a college professor at Clark Atlanta University. He's a professional appraiser. Has been there since 1992. But we've got him on today to talk about cryptocurrency. We've had him on twice before. So with everything going on today, we figured it'd be great to have him back on, talk about crypto, because we know a lot of folks are involved in that and trying to figure out what's going on. And I don't know any better person to talk about than Oscar Sistrunk. Welcome to the show, Oscar.
Oh, thanks. I'm glad to be back. I miss you guys. I'm back with the crew. So I,
so
I
what's hap-
enjoy it. Thank you.
So tell us what's going on. What's been going on with you, and what's going on with crypto?
Well, with me, I'm still teaching over here at Morehouse, still cranking out future leaders. So I'm in the business department teaching there. I teach a real estate appraisal class, and then of course I still am a commercial real estate appraiser. And I do commercial appraisal work throughout the United States. I just got back from Florida. I said I ain't going to Florida for a while, but I had to go for a client to look at the property. I did in and out. I flew in that morning, flew out that afternoon. I ain't spending the night. I ain't doing nothing. I'm getting out of there. But other than that, just staying busy. That's the best thing to do. Keep moving forward. Stay busy. Play with the grandkids and the kids. That's what life is all about.
Oh,
So, and of course, I'm into crypto and still trying to learn. Matter of fact, I'm in the process. It's an evolving thing, so I'm constantly learning. People say I'm an expert, but I'm just maybe a step or two ahead of most people, but I'm still learning. So I'm going through. I've got a young lady. She's in high school. Isn't that something? She's in high school and she's going to teach me how to write crypto bots, and that's the next thing I'm going to start doing so I can get into what a crypto bot
okay.
is real quick. But if we all about the same age. You remember growing up, we thought that there were going to be robots, and then the robots would be working for companies and working for these owners. But now you think about it, it'll probably be possible for you to have a robot and then rent that robot out and make money off the robot. Well, if you think about that and take it to the next step, why couldn't you have virtual robots that go out on the internet and make money for you all the time? The next step is if that's true, then I could do that with what's called a crypto bot. It's a program that sits out on the blockchain, finds inefficiencies in the market, and makes money for you 24 hours a day. There is
So
no
Oscar,
cost.
I got a question for you. They have this
Yeah.
bot system for your stock exchange as well. So is that similar to what you're referring to with the crypto bot?
Yes. Because if you think about it, and Bitcoin in particular, remember the blockchain operates 24/7, 365. So somebody can't just stay up looking for inefficiencies in the market all day. And if so, they're not fast enough because if you could put a bot or a robot, a program out on the blockchain that monitors every transaction 24/7. Now you would think that there would eventually everybody would have a bot. But think about it. There are multiple blockchains, not just Bitcoin, multiple blockchains. And within all of those blockchains, there are multiple pairs of stocks or coins, shall I say. So if you looked at Solana or Ethereum or Bitcoin, these are all blockchains, and there's many others in which all of them have multiple currencies on them. And you can have a bot that's on different blockchains looking at different currency pairs, finding those inefficiencies, making a little bit of money here, a little bit of money there. So if you can do one, why can't you do 100?
So is this something that's offered by, say, Coinbase or some of the other crypto exchanges, or is this something that each individual designs for themselves and just has it circulate within their own computer or own network?
No, yeah, they sit on the blockchain. Well, there are some services out there that offer them, but I don't trust them yet. You know, it's the Wild West. You see, they scamming and rug pulling everybody. That daggone Donald Trump made a bunch of money on that Trump coin. So all of them are like that. They just had that one in Venezuela, which was a rug pull, which means they set it up, and once everybody puts their money in, they liquidate and disappear. So it's called a rug pull. And so it's the Wild West, right? So there are people out there that say they'll write a bot for you, or there's some services out there where you can put your money in and get a bot. I don't trust not now one of them.
Hello.
Right now, my thing is I'm kind of a programming guy, so let me learn, take my time. I'm not like I was when I was 18, right? That's 50 years ago. But I'm going to sit down and learn how to write the program. I'm going to play around until I can get one up and working. And then I'll be able to figure out who to trust and not trust.
Yeah,
but eventually, that's going to be the case.
So let me ask you this.
Let me ask you this. Political atmosphere, what changes do you see with Bitcoin and the whole industry?
You know, everybody kept that daggone Donald Trump. I give him credit. I remember when I was in high school in New Jersey, and I remember Trump way back then in the 70s. I give that dude credit, man. He can talk that. He's one of the best talkers and guys I've seen. Now, you got to give him credit. He talked all these people into saying how he's going to be the Bitcoin president. He already showed you what he's going to do when he did that Trump coin. I don't think I think that what they're going to do, they might be trying to pump up crypto, but it's more for them to get in there and take money. I don't think they're good. Bitcoin is like the banks were in the 2020s. So 100 years ago, it was banks. And eventually we had the depression, and eventually FDIC and everything had to be formed, and federal regulations had to come in to control the bank. Crypto's kind of the same thing. It's the Wild West. It's the banking industry 100 years ago. And some of these people are taking advantage of folks. And I think that's going to hurt crypto in the short term, because people are losing their money. They're saying, I don't want to be bothered with it. Eventually, I don't think it's going to be this guy, even though he says it is. I just don't. He's too slick. I think the next guy, because of what is going to happen, the next guy is going to put the regulations in so we don't have these scammers just stealing money from everybody. Other than that, Bitcoin, Ethereum, they're the big boys. They're not going anywhere. But some of these others, even Solana, has recently, there's been a problem with that, where people have been putting meme coins and crazy coins on Solana and getting ripped off. So Solana's been hurt, and their coin price is now dropping as people realize they may not be who we think they're going to be. And it's not them in particular, it's just the way their blockchain is set up.
Man, it's so much speculation involved in this Bitcoin stuff that most of us are just saying, we're just going to sit and wait until the doggone dust settles and see what's real and what's not. And I say most of these people like myself. Matter of fact, it's got me so frazzled off whatever little money I put in Coinbase when it first started. And I got some emails and text messages about check your account. I said, forget it. Y'all keep that money. I'm not answering no emails. I'm not clicking on nothing because you understand it's too much thievery going on. And
Right.
I could get with it if I understood the game. You understand? But since I don't understand the game, you got all these block changes and block. When I think about putting somebody out on the block, well, it has a
Right.
totally different meaning to me.
That's right.
So I'm done with that crypto stuff.
Well,
That's
you
just
see,
my
the key is it's a long-term play. I still tell people you put a little bit in there because it gives you that little alpha in your portfolio return, right? But yeah, you don't put all your money into it. You don't start playing around with these meme coins and all that craziness like them young folk and get your money taken. You put some in there and you let it sit. You're
So,
right, Gary. Just let it sit there.
so what's the difference between meme coins and utility coins? Can you explain that to us?
Yes. Meme coins are really just that's where your scams are. There's no use other than the fact that it's somebody's name or there's hype about it. That's it. It doesn't have no other utility to it. The Trump coin, they put that out before the inauguration, and then everybody unloaded on the inauguration day. And then there's a where I saw a video with people saying um, that everybody, all his boys, front loaded coins before they put them out for everybody else. So if you were part of his crew, you were able to get the Trump coin for like $5 or $6. Then when it ran up to $70, you unload it in the next 3 days, and then you made 10x on your money, and you gone.
Yeah,
But
that's
that's
digital. Yeah, that's all it is digital inside thievery. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Right.
So,
exactly. He's just
yeah,
trying to get
inside
it.
information.
But remember, that's who Donald Trump is. He's just one of the best scammers out there, and therefore he likes crypto because it's an easy way for him to scam. You can't, you know what I'm saying? Right now it's the Wild West. So I don't think he'll ever try and put regulations on. He's just trying to figure out with his boys how to make more money.
Well, we can't hate the players of the game. What we have to do is learn how to play the game.
There
Understand?
you go.
So don't hate the
I
players now. Because he during his first administration, or first run for presidency, and hey, he was talking about that before then as it relates to businesses, and people always crying about businesses getting the biggest tax cuts. Well, hey, shut up, go get you a business, all right, if you
there you
want
go.
to participate in the game, but don't hate the players.
That's
Go
right.
ahead, Mr. Sistrunk.
I tell people all the time. I talk about this in class. I said, let's say you want to play basketball. And so I'm gonna go to the court, I'm gonna play basketball. But I can't dribble. So I'm gonna ask the guys, when I get the ball, can I just run with it and go down the court? They're gonna say, no, that's not the rules of the game. I said, but it's not fair because I can't dribble. I just want to hold the ball. Listen, if you can't understand the rules and play by the rules, don't play.
All right.
There's nothing
So,
wrong with that,
so
whether
let
it's
me,
basketball, baseball, doesn't matter.
so let me ask you this: what's the
Yeah.
difference now that you've charted us out with the meme coin? What is it?
hmm
Explain to us how the utility coin works and what the difference is between the two.
Yeah. Utility. All right. First of all, you got the big two. That's Bitcoin, which is the first one, the most secure one, and what it's all about. That's like savings account. I tell people you buy parts pieces of a coin and you hold it as savings. That's what that is. It doesn't have much utility for it. People talk about it could become a currency to buy things, but right now it's just a place to hold your wealth to protect you against inflation, right? That's what it's for. As it builds more utility, that's going to build demand and it will grow in value because there's a set number of Bitcoin out there. There's 21 million Bitcoin that will ever be produced. That's it. Each Bitcoin is can be broken up into 100 million pieces. So therefore, you've got 21 million by 100 million. You got trillions of little pieces, but then it's not going anywhere. It's the most secure. Ethereum is like Bitcoin, except what they do on that blockchain, they have what's called smart contracts. So the blockchain, the Ethereum blockchain, allows you to actually do transactions, right? You can do an if-then statement. If you pay me this, then I can do that. You can't do that with Bitcoin, but you can do that with Ethereum. So, for example, if I buy a car, as long as I'm making that payment, everything's good. But if I don't make the payment, then they go in and take something from me. The blockchain can do that automatically. You can program it. Those are the two main ones. All the other utilities, like you hear about XRP, Solana, Doge, all of these others, they're finding utilities for them. And people will accept those coins for stuff. Solana came around because it's like Ethereum, but it's much cheaper because it operates faster. So Ethereum, sometimes it's very expensive to operate when it's busy. Solana is very inexpensive. So let's say you're only playing around with hundreds of dollars. With Ethereum, you can play around with hundreds of dollars. With Ethereum, you need to be in a $1,000, $10,000 range because the transactions can get expensive.
Which looks like a lot of the young folks are going to this XRP. What's the attraction there?
It is building utility. You hear people talk about how companies may accept that for currency. You heard about countries being able to want it. It's all, once the blockchain is set up and the coins are on it, then it's up to kind of like the system to make sure that it's secure, that nobody can really manipulate it. And then countries, companies, individuals will find uses and they'll accept it, right? In my appraisal firm, I could accept XRP coins if I want. Think of it like a currency. Instead of me accepting the Deutschmark or the German dollar, I can accept the XRP, or I accept Bitcoin, I accept Ethereum. So XRP is kind of growing because remember, they won the lawsuit against the federal government when the federal government said it's really a stock. And they the federal government lost. So XRP has a lot of uses to it. And it's
So
cheaper
let me
to
ask.
operate.
So let me ask you
Go ahead.
this: what creates the value for a coin?
The fact that it has a use and that people see that value and use in it, just like the dollar. Why does the dollar have a value? It's not tied to anything anymore. It's not tied to gold or anything. It has a value because people assume that it has a value and you can buy things with it. You can take it and save it. So when you work hard, your work converts into a dollar, right? The problem is the government and wealthy people are scamming everybody through inflation, taking your power away from you. So I tell all my students, you get paid in the dollar. Take that dollar and convert it into real estate, crypto, daggone bonds, stocks. I don't care, jewelry. I don't care, put it in some shoes or something nowadays. Do not keep it in the dollar.
Well, hold on, Oscar. Now you said wealthy people, other people are scamming. Now I think that's a misnomer.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, well, clean that up now because we don't
I don't
scam.
know. Let me say this. Not everybody, but there's a
Thank you.
whole lot. Okay, let me say this. After this election, I realized, and I heard some people say, let's stop playing this game. Okay, let's be for real. This system is set up that the reason they want to go backwards is we're doing too well. Understand it? We're doing too well.
Explain that one now. This may take us off into a whole different
Yeah,
direction.
who is we?
I'm gonna
You
swing
know,
back to Bitcoin.
I have some facts and stuff that I would love to share with you. However, this is not the platform to do it.
I don't want to get into the politics of it. I'm gonna swing
All right. Yeah.
it back to Bitcoin. Because it doesn't matter. Politics, see, that's all part of the scam. It has nothing to do with that. We know that the dollar is losing value. That's why when you go, eggs are more expensive. The dollar is losing value, right? We know that. That's, when people talk about real estate, why is real estate going up? Well, one reason is the dollar is losing value. We know that. So you cannot keep all your money in the dollar all the time. You put them in stocks, you put them in all kinds of other assets. And crypto is one of them. No, I'm not saying everybody's doing it, but the system in general. I'm thinking about when my mother-in-law passed. She gave all her grandkids savings bonds. And that was nice. Those savings bonds she bought in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. But the face value at the time when she passed in the 80s, I'll just say maybe about $10,000 each for the kids put together. Well, $10,000 in the 80s was not the same as $10,000 in the 60s and 70s. You understand what I'm saying? When she passed in 2009, the $10,000 they got was nice, but it wasn't the same as it was in the 70s and 80s. And that's what I'm saying. It would have been nice if she, again, I'm just saying, it would have been nice if she had taken that money and put it in Bitcoin, if she could have done that. And then the kids could have got some coins that would have kept up with inflation. That's all I'm saying.
Let's talk about when you take your winnings, if you will. You bought a Bitcoin when it was 2,000. Now it's worth 100, whatever the heck it's worth. And so now you want to take that $98,000 off and, excuse me here, turn it into dollars. Okay. Because there's a reason. Hold on now. Okay. There's a reason why that I think I just heard you say something about Bitcoin being like a depot, a holdings place for wealth, right? All right. And so now at some point in your lifetime, you need to take your winnings off the table. Okay. So when you take those winnings off the table, you create two events. One is a taxable event called capital gains. All right. And so how is that going to be treated when it comes time to pay the taxes? Are you paying it in Bitcoin, or are you paying it in dollars? I think you're paying it in, exactly.
No, but see, I'm never selling.
Oh, okay. Well, see, that's well, we're talking to the millions of listeners out here who, at some point you're either going to sell, because if you don't sell, where's your profit? You never have a profit. All you got is some paper stuff.
I can get a profit.
How do you collect your profit? Help explain that.
I collected my profit by using decentralized finance, borrowed against it, and bought a house cash.
And
so I now have a house that I rent out, paying cash. Every month I get $1,000.
Is that in dollars when you say cash?
I borrowed money and I borrowed the currency, converted it into dollars, and bought the rental property cash money, free and clear. That rental property, now I collect rent on it. Every month I get $1,000 rent, but I have no mortgage payment. And guess what? I'm getting ready to do it again next year, because as it grows, I got more wealth. I'm going to borrow and buy another piece of property, and I'll be making $2,000 a month with no mortgage payment.
Well, if you got enough Bitcoins, you can step up your game from houses to apartment buildings, what have you now. But we're still going back to that dollar. So what you say, what I think I'm hearing you say, and correct me if I'm wrong here, which I know you will, is that Bitcoin is a place to park your money for growth. And while it's growing, it grows tax deferred. I won't say tax free, but it grows tax deferred. Isn't that similar to other investments that's out here that has less risk? Because the way I see it, there's a risk in investing, and then there's a gamble in investing. And what I see with Bitcoin, it's a gamble. You're either going to win or you're going to lose, because you can't mitigate your risk because it's out of your control. However, with an investment, which is well within my control, I take away the gambling aspect. And all I have to do now is be shrewd enough and astute enough to mitigate the risk, identify that risk, and either eliminate it or evade it. So now, look at those two scenarios, man, I'm going to sleep a hell of a lot better at night knowing that I'm in an investment that I know what the risk, I know what the rewards are, versus being over here and the next time a frog farts, Bitcoin goes down.
Okay,
Oh,
let
the
me
next
say this.
one, so go ahead.
You are right in terms of with any portfolio, you need to spread your risk. With Bitcoin, I'm talking about, I'm not going to say it's a gamble. I'm going to say it's a higher risk. I agree. All right. I think over time that's going to change, but I agree. It's a higher risk, but it's part of a portfolio. I've got maybe some gold. I've got some basic stocks. I might have some kind of growth stocks, right? So Bitcoin, because if you put a small percentage in Bitcoin and let it run, it's doing over time 80, 90% a year. So you only have to put maybe 5, 10% of your money into it, and that kind of growth is going to impact your overall return.
So in essence, you're talking
But if
about
the same,
diversification, and I follow that. Nothing
right,
wrong with diversifying.
right. So that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. I'm not saying everybody put all their life savings, borrow money for. No, don't do that. Especially not now. Now that might change, but you're right. It's a high risk, but long term, it's worth the risk as part of an overall portfolio. If you look at micro strategies and what he's doing, that's what he's doing. He's taking just a piece of it and it's giving him that alpha to make his return a couple of points higher. That's what we're really talking about. Now you can learn how to get into uh, cryptocurrency and make a living off of doing other things. But from what Gary, you're talking about savings, this is part of a portfolio where I'm at the high end of the risk for some alpha return to make my overall portfolio grow 1 or 2 extra points a year. That covers inflation, right? That's good enough. And we're in the point where we can take 5, 6, 7 years to learn, 10 years to learn this stuff. I started talking about it in my class 10 years ago. I didn't start, even after I started in 2014 talking about it, I didn't buy it for another 5 years. I didn't buy my first crypto until 2019. Here it is 6 years later, and now I'm just still learning about this stuff and learning how to reduce my risk. There are ways. That's what I'll say. There are ways that I'm never going to sell my crypto, but I can show you when you borrow against crypto, there is no loan payment. There is no mortgage payment. There is no payment. The interest accumulates. So if you want to, you can just do it interest only at 3 or 4%. Because I converted my crypto into cash, right? When I bought that property, I always look for distress sale. The owner passed away. The kids wanted their cash. They didn't want the house. I came in there and said, "Here's the cash. I can send it right to escrow, the full amount. You close. I can close in 2 weeks, subject to an inspection." They agreed to it with a 15% drop in price because you ain't got to worry about somebody trying to get a loan or nothing. Here's the money, bam. You got to give me a deal and let my inspector look at it. We can close, right? Then that loan sits there, collateralized by my crypto. But remember, my crypto is earning interest
Yeah, but if I'm a lender,
to help offset
your
my
crypto
payment.
is up today and down tomorrow. And if we collateralize
Okay, but
at
let,
$100,000 and then your crypto drop and I call in that loan, I'm
you're not
SOL.
you're not going to call in the loan. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Now I'm getting into some sophisticated stuff. All right.
Bring it on.
Okay. I do Ethereum. So I've got Ethereum, and I'll just play with a number so we can mathematically do this. I have $100,000 in Ethereum. I borrow $70,000 to buy this property, cash. Now that Ethereum is sitting there at 100,000. I borrowed what's called stable coins at $70,000. You're right. If my Ethereum drops down so that my portfolio is less than $70,000, I get liquidated. You were right. But here's something. How about if when I think I'm at the top of the market, I take that $70,000 of stable coins and I convert it into Ethereum. So now my loan is Ethereum and my capital is Ethereum. I never get liquidated because they move together. I'm always at a 70% LTV.
But you had a minus 30% valuation. You come from 100 to
Yeah, but
70.
yeah, but
How is that good?
no, but remember my loan is as Ethereum, so my Ethereum loan went down 30% too. And they always they move the same.
I get
I
that. I don't see
Okay.
any goodness in that, okay? Because we
Well,
started at
goodness
100.
is
You
no, no,
took a
no.
loan at 70. Your value's down to 70. Yeah, you may not get called on that loan, but you still lost 30%. So where
Yeah,
do you
but
make up
remember,
the
no, I didn't
30%?
lose 30% if I didn't sell. I'm waiting for the cycle to come back again,
Oh my
right?
goodness. That's a
Yeah,
hope strategy. That's
but
that's
it's
that's that's an if come strategy.
no, it
If
isn't. I can
that's
show
not
you
income. But
four
go ahead.
straight.
I don't want to get too far in the weeds and
Yeah,
you get
we
lost.
get too far in the rabbit hole. You
Right.
you
We don't
know,
want to do.
yeah. But basically, you're right. It's gonna all drop. Both both my loan value and my amount are gonna drop maybe 60%. And then guess what? It's gonna cycle back again and then even be worth more. I'm gonna end up my collateral. And guess what? When it gets down to the bottom, you can tell when it gets to the bottom. Okay,
Ain't no
you
doubt
can tell when
about
it gets to
that.
the
You
bottom.
know when it's at bottom because you don't have no tangible
Right.
money.
And guess what I did when it gets to the bottom? I took my loan and converted the Ethereum back to stablecoin so that now the stablecoin amount was dropped. Instead of $70,000, it was $35,000 loan. It
Well,
was cycled
understand
back.
this now. When it comes to lending, it's the lender who waves the wand. Okay, the borrower has no
That's with
rights.
the
Okay,
bank. That's with the
okay.
bank. That's not
That's what
that's not
that's going to be with any smart lender. Okay,
yeah.
private lenders or public lenders. If you just lender, hello, y'all listening out there. Don't loan anybody no money unless you have some guaranteed ways of getting your money back. Okay, so make certain of that. And whatever collaterals that's being used, you want to make sure that that collateral is worth a heck of a lot more than the money that you're lending. Because
You're right. And it is.
okay, I know because that's what I
Wait a
do.
minute. That's what DeFi on the blockchain does. It automatically will liquidate you, but it allows you to change on the debt side, right? So that there's no tax implications. The change between the currencies so that you never get liquidated. That's the key. Now
Okay.
I could
Well,
go to
we
the math,
we
but
flushed out our argument, but what we want to know more about for our listeners too, before as we get so much
yeah,
into time, is that okay? I think we beat up the pros and cons of crypto, but your point is well taken, and I appreciate your point. Is that in terms of diversifying, all right,
yeah,
diversification as a diversification model, all right, crypto has another option for those who are more averse to, not as adverse to risk, and maybe somebody like my age. All right, because I don't feel like I have that kind of time to recoup whatever losses that I may put over into that cryptocurrency. But someone half my age or in their 20s or 30s or whatever, now you have enough recovery time in the likely event that crypto, because it's volatile. Okay, just like the stock market. And so in
right.
the lifetime, that's why here on the Crotchety Old Men podcast, we talk a lot about the stock market and exchanges and stuff, because not only the volatility there, but going back to my point about risk, long as you understand that volatility and you're comfortable with knowing that it goes up and down, but over a period of time, and as you said, Oscar, crypto is a long-term investment. And so over the long term, you know that even though it may go up and down, it's still going up and to the right. There's going to be some dips and stuff. And so if you lose in the first cycle and you're young enough to ride out the next cycle, then you have an opportunity to recoup whatever losses that you may have incurred. But I agree 100% with you, man. As a option to diversify your portfolio, hey, there's nothing wrong with having a little crypto in it because, like I just said earlier, I put some money into it when it first came out into Coinbase or whatever the heck it is. I don't even know where it's at. You know,
That's
I'm, you know why? Because I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to click something and they end up going in my account and take my money, okay,
right.
and all that stuff. So I just let it ride. So if it's growing, I don't know. And if I'm losing, I don't care because they don't have
Right.
that much of mine over there. So with that, George, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Yeah, people could put that in cash app, PayPal. They now, will have you can take some of your money, buy something, just let it sit there, right? That's a good idea, and that's the entryway. That's what I did. That was my entryway. When I first started, I bought my first piece of Bitcoin with Robinhood. And eventually I moved from Robinhood to Coinbase. And I still use Coinbase to this day because they're trusted. They've been around. I was smart enough that I was in block 5, but I got out of it before it collapsed. And I moved past it because I just didn't like some of the fees they were charging. So I kind of lucked up on that one. I know some people who who didn't, but for the most part, Coinbase, Kraken, some of these people have been around. Gemini, they've been around a long time. These guys flushed it out. They're pretty reliable. These other folks, you gotta be real. It's like either do you go to Bank of America or do you go to Sisturnk Federal Bank? You decide.
All right. So
I got a debit card for you.
all right. So okay. So my takeaway is you're still endorsing crypto as a viable means of investment, and you don't really see the current administration really changing a lot. So it's still buyer beware. Invest at your own risk. And as we always say on the Crotchety Old Man, this is for entertainment purposes, and we're not endorsing for anybody to go out and run out and buy some Bitcoin or any other Ethereum or XRP or anything. Here again, we're just trying to provide some information and education as far as what has happened, since this new administration has taken over. And based on what Oscar is saying, not a lot has changed. Keep on your same road. If this is something you want to do, we highly suggest you do some investigations and basically, buyer, like I said, buyer beware. So with that said, what we got? Who's got my words of wisdom today? I see some heads down, and I see some some scratching. Which one of y'all gonna jump up and close us out today?
We're just gonna keep it simple. Look here, the dream is free, but the hustle is sold separately. All right.
I'll go with that. All right. Okay. As we always say on the Crotchety Old Man podcast, hey, especially today, if you didn't know, hey, now you know.
Now you know.
Take care. Oscar, we're going to have you
Peace
back
out,
again.
y'all.
Take care.
Anytime, guys. I enjoyed it. It goes so fast. I'm like, whoa, it's over with already. That was fun. I enjoyed it. Contact you anytime.
All right.
Take care.
All right.